Hey, everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive with Paolo Maria Pavan.
Always exciting to jump into his latest thinking.
Yeah, he's, he always has something interesting to say, and this week is no exception. His latest blog post on extroverso.com, it's about this massive wave of freelancing we're seeing everywhere you look.
It really feels like a turning point, doesn't it? Like, the way we work is fundamentally shifting.
Yeah, and Paolo really gets to the heart of that. He asks, what's pushing so many people away from traditional jobs and into the freelance world? And his answer, it's very bold. He says the system as we know it, it's broken. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see why some people might find that a bit jarring. But when you really think about it,
Start to see the cracks.
yeah, like that old 9-to-5 climb the ladder model, it's just not working for a lot of people anymore. And it's not just about younger generations either. I think this desire for more autonomy, more flexibility, more control over your work-life balance, it's something that resonates with a lot of us.
Absolutely. And Paolo makes the point that technology has been a huge driver of this shift, right? It's giving people the tools to break free from those old structures and build something on their own terms.
Exactly. The tools are there now, and people are realizing, hey, I don't have to settle for the old way of doing things.
So it's this combination of a broken system and the tools to actually do something different.
Right. And Paolo also points out that it's not just about the practicalities. It's not just about convenience. People aren't just freelancing because it's easier or because they can work in their pajamas.
There's something deeper going on.
Absolutely. They're doing it because they're looking for something more fulfilling. They want work that aligns with their values, that gives them a sense of purpose, that allows them to make a real impact, you know?
It's like they're craving that connection to something bigger than themselves.
Exactly. And I think that's where some companies are really missing the marks. Paolo talks about how a lot of them are still stuck in that old mindset of trying to attract and retain talent with the same old perks and benefits.
Like free snacks and ping pong tables.
Exactly. As if that's what people really care about.
Yeah, he uses this phrase transactional loyalty to describe it.
Right. Like they're trying to buy loyalty with stuff instead of building it through genuine connection and shared purpose.
Which is a recipe for disaster in the long run, right?
Absolutely. Because people can see right through that. They want to feel like they're part of something meaningful, not just a cog in a machine.
So how do companies make that shift then? From transactional to what Paolo calls relational loyalty?
Well, it starts with really understanding what your employees, or in this case, your freelance collaborators, actually value. What are their goals? What are their aspirations? What kind of impact do they want to make?
So it's about building relationships based on mutual respect and understanding.
Exactly, and recognizing that everyone has something unique to contribute.
I love that. So we've got this surge in freelancing driven by this deeper desire for control, purpose, and fulfillment. But then Paolo dives into the gig economy itself, and he gets pretty fired up, right?
He does. He uses this great phrase to describe it, a revolution and a reckoning.
What does he mean by that?
Well, he sees the incredible potential of the gig economy, right? This freedom and flexibility that it offers. But he's also deeply concerned about the lack of safety nets for workers.
He talks about how in its current form, the gig economy can be exploitative, with companies taking advantage of workers who are desperate for income and lack the protections that traditional employees have.
Yeah. He sees this real danger of a race to the bottom, where freelancers are constantly undercutting each other on price just to get work. And in the end, nobody wins.
So what's the solution? Does he think we should just scrap the whole gig economy?
No, not at all. He actually believes it has the potential to be incredibly empowering. But it needs to be reimagined, rebuilt on a foundation that values people, not just profits.
So what would that look like? A redefined gig economy, as he calls it.
Well, he points to a few key elements. One is portable benefits, meaning that workers would have access to healthcare retirement savings regardless of who they work for.
So you're not tied to a single employer for those essential benefits.
Exactly. He also talks about a stronger emphasis on worker cooperatives and collectives.
Where freelancers can band together to have more bargaining power.
Right. Negotiate better rates and working conditions.
So it's about creating a system that allows people to enjoy the freedom and flexibility of freelancing without sacrificing security and stability.
Exactly. And I think that's a vision that a lot of people can get behind.
It's not about choosing between freedom and security. It's about having both.
Right. And that's where Paolo's critique of traditional companies gets really interesting.
Yeah. He argues that they're stuck in this old mindset of offering security in the form of a steady paycheck and benefits. But that's just not cutting it anymore, especially for younger generations.
He even goes so far as to say that security in the traditional sense doesn't hold the same weight anymore.
He calls it an illusion.
Yeah. He's arguing that true security comes from having control over your own destiny, from building your skills and your network, and from creating multiple streams of income.
Which is pretty much the opposite of what traditional companies offer.
Right. In a way, yeah. They want you to be dependent on them for your livelihood.
And he's not just talking about Gen Z here. He's saying that millennials who came of age during the Great Recession and witnessed the fragility of the traditional job market, they're also looking for something different.
They're looking for something more than just a paycheck. They're looking for purpose, for meaning, for the opportunity to create something of their own.
So what are some specific examples of this mismatch between what companies are offering and what workers, particularly younger generations, are actually seeking?
Well, he talks about how companies used to try to attract and retain employees with perks like free food and on-site gyms.
Those things just don't hold the same appeal anymore.
Right, especially when you're worried about student loan debt or being able to afford rent.
He's saying those are just superficial perks that don't address the deeper needs of workers.
And it goes back to that idea of relational loyalty versus transactional loyalty.
Right, companies are offering, if you work for us, we'll give you these things. But what people really want is a sense of purpose, shared goals, the opportunity to grow and develop their skills.
They want to feel like they're part of something bigger than themselves, that their work has meaning.
And that's something that a lot of companies just aren't providing.
Yeah.
They're still stuck in that old transactional mindset.
And that's why so many people are turning to freelancing. They're looking for that sense of purpose and fulfillment that they're not finding in traditional jobs.
It's fascinating, isn't it? This whole shift in how we think about work and what we value.
Absolutely. It's like we're in the midst of a massive cultural transformation, and I think Paolo's really captured the essence of that in this post.
Yeah, he's definitely giving us a lot to think about.
For sure. And I think his advice for freelancers is particularly interesting, even a bit controversial.
Yeah, he really goes after freelancers who ask for a minimum income guarantee.
Right. Which might seem counterintuitive at first, because wouldn't a guaranteed income be a good thing?
Especially in the unpredictable world of freelancing.
Exactly. But that's what makes Paolo so insightful. He challenges those assumptions. He argues that by asking for a guaranteed income, freelancers are actually reinforcing the limitations of the old system.
They're clinging to this idea of security that he believes is an illusion.
Right. And he's not saying that all freelancers should reject any form of security, but his point is that if you're truly committed to the entrepreneurial path, you can't let the fear of instability hold you back.
You have to be willing to step outside of your comfort zone and embrace the unknown.
Exactly. And I think that's a powerful message for anyone who's considering the freelance life.
Or really for any entrepreneur, right?
Yeah.
Whether you're freelancing or building a traditional business.
Absolutely. It's about taking ownership, being resourceful, and having the courage to create your own future.
I love that. So much to unpack here, and I think this sets us up perfectly for our next segment, where we'll delve deeper into Paolo's idea of the Entrepreneur 3.0.
Can't wait. It's like he's giving us a roadmap for the future of entrepreneurship.
Paolo talks a lot about this generational divide in the workplace.
Yeah, it's something he comes back to again and again.
He sees this real tension between how older generations view work and success and the aspirations of younger generations.
It's like they're speaking different languages sometimes.
Right. And Paolo's argument is that we need to create this shared table where different generations can come together, share their experiences, and learn from each other.
I love that analogy. It's like instead of building walls, we need to be building bridges.
Exactly. And it's not just about millennials versus boomers, right? It's about recognizing that Gen X has a ton of experience navigating that traditional business world.
Right. They've seen it all. They've been through the ups and downs.
Then you've got millennials who are digital natives who are comfortable with change and disruption.
And then Gen Z coming in with fresh perspectives and a deep understanding of technology.
It's like each generation brings something unique and valuable to the table.
Exactly. And if we can tap into the strengths of each generation, we can create something truly powerful.
I'm thinking about this from a practical standpoint. Let's say you're an entrepreneur building a team. How do you actually put this shared table concept into action?
Well, Paolo emphasizes the importance of creating a culture of mutual respect and understanding, acknowledging that there can be clashes, especially when it comes to communication styles or work habits.
Like someone from Gen X might prefer a more formal email, while a Gen Z team member might be all about Slack or Discord.
Exactly. It's about adapting your communication style, being flexible, and being willing to learn from each other.
It's about meeting people where they are.
Right. And it goes beyond communication. It's about understanding how different generations view leadership feedback and even the concept of success itself.
So a millennial entrepreneur who's used to a more collaborative leadership style might need to adjust their approach when working with someone from a generation that's more accustomed to a top-down hierarchy.
Exactly. It's about finding that balance, recognizing that there's no one right way to do things. And I think that's a really important lesson for entrepreneurs, especially those who are building teams and trying to create a strong company culture.
You have to be adaptable and create an environment where everyone feels valued and respected, regardless of their age or background.
And it's not just about avoiding conflict. It's about recognizing that diversity of thought and experience can lead to better decision-making and more innovative solutions.
It's like that saying, if two people think exactly alike, one of them is unnecessary.
Exactly. And I think that's one of the biggest benefits of building a multi-generational team or network. You get exposed to different perspectives, different ideas, different ways of approaching problems.
It's like having a built-in think tank.
Right. And that can be a huge asset for any entrepreneur.
Okay, so let's switch gears a bit and talk about Paolo's advice on shifting from selling hours to selling solutions. This is a concept he comes back to again and again.
It's one of his core beliefs, for sure.
He argues that we need to move beyond that old industrial age mindset of valuing work based on time spent. Like punching a clock.
He says people need to stop selling hours. It's a pretty bold statement.
It is. And it might seem counterintuitive, especially in the freelance world, where so much work is still project-based or hourly.
Right. But his point is that when you focus on selling hours, you're limiting your earning potential. And you're not truly capturing the value you bring to the table.
So it's about shifting your mindset from selling time to selling expertise, solutions, and outcomes.
Exactly. Instead of saying, I can build you a website for $50 an hour, you're saying, I can help you increase your online sales by 20%.
You're focusing on the value you deliver, not the time it takes you to deliver it.
Right. And this applies to all types of businesses, not just freelancers.
So if you're a consultant, you're not just selling your hourly rate, you're selling your expertise and your ability to solve specific problems for your clients.
And if you're a product company, you're not just selling features, you're selling the benefits and outcomes those features enable.
It's about understanding what your customers truly value and positioning yourself as the solution to their needs.
And I think that's a really powerful shift in perspective.
It is, because when you start thinking about selling solutions instead of time, you're no longer limited by the number of hours in a day.
You can scale your business in ways that wouldn't be possible if you were just trading time for money.
And you're also able to command higher prices because you're demonstrating the value you bring to the table.
You're not just a commodity, you're a problem solver.
I love that.
Yeah.
So how does Paolo suggest that entrepreneurs actually make this shift? From selling hours to selling solutions, it's one thing to talk about it conceptually, but how do you put it into practice?
Well, he emphasizes the importance of understanding your target market. You need to know who your ideal customer is, what their pain points are, and what solutions they're looking for.
It's about really getting inside their heads and understanding their needs and motivations.
Exactly. He also talks about the need to develop a strong personal brand.
So whether you're a freelancer or the CEO of a Fortune 500 company, you need to be able to articulate your unique value proposition.
What makes you different? What can you offer that no one else can?
And finally, he emphasizes the importance of building a strong network.
Your network is your net worth, right?
Exactly. You need to connect with other entrepreneurs, mentors, potential partners who can help you reach your target market and grow your business.
It's about being proactive, building relationships, and putting yourself out there.
And not being afraid to ask for help.
Right. It's about recognizing that you can't do it alone. You need a support system, a network of people who can help you navigate the challenges and seize the opportunities of entrepreneurship.
Now, I want to touch on something Paolo mentions briefly in his post, but I think it deserves a deeper dive. He talks about the difference between how Gen Y and Gen Z approach freelancing.
Yeah, that's a really interesting observation.
He argues that while both generations value freedom and autonomy, they come to freelancing from very different starting points.
Millennials often turn to freelancing out of necessity. after experiencing the limitations and instability of the traditional job market.
They've seen firsthand that the old promise of a stable job and a secure retirement is no longer a guarantee.
So they're bringing with them a sense of pragmatism, a willingness to hustle, and often a deep desire for stability.
Gen Z, on the other hand, is often embracing freelancing as a first choice.
They've grown up seeing freelancing as a viable career path, and they're often more comfortable with the idea of building a portfolio career, working on multiple projects at once.
It's like they don't even see it as a risk. They see it as an opportunity.
Exactly. And what's fascinating is that Paolo sees this as a positive development. He believes that Gen Z's entrepreneurial spirit and comfort with technology will help shape the future of work.
So it's not just about adapting to the changing world of work. It's about driving that change, pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
And I think that's a really exciting prospect because it means that the future of entrepreneurship is in good hands.
Now I'm curious, does Paolo offer any specific advice for entrepreneurs who are working with or trying to reach these different generations of freelancers?
He does. He emphasizes the importance of understanding the motivations and values of each generation. He suggests that when working with millennials, it's important to offer opportunities for growth and development, to recognize their experience, and to provide a clear path for advancement.
Because even though they're embracing freelancing, they still have that desire for stability and recognition.
Exactly. With Gen Z, he stresses the importance of flexibility, creative freedom, and projects that align with their values.
They want to feel like they're making a difference, that their work has meaning.
And they're not afraid to walk away from something that doesn't feel right.
So it's not just about offering them a gig, it's about offering them an experience.
Right. An opportunity to learn, to grow, and to make a real impact.
He also encourages entrepreneurs to embrace technology and to use social media platforms to connect with and attract these younger generations.
Where they live, right?
Exactly. So it's not just about posting on Instagram. It's about understanding how these platforms are being used to build communities, share ideas, and showcase talent.
He's really challenging entrepreneurs to stay ahead of the curve, to be adaptable, and to create work environments that appeal to the next generation of talent.
Which brings us back to this idea of Entrepreneur 3.0. Paolo sees this as the next evolution of entrepreneurship, one that's driven by purpose, collaboration, and a deep understanding of technology.
It's like he's saying the old rules no longer apply.
Right, the whole new game.
And I think he's right. There's this incredible energy and creativity coming from these younger generations. And it's up to us to create the space for them to thrive.
So it's not just about passing the torch. It's about building something new together.
Exactly. And I think that's what makes this whole conversation so exciting.
Yeah, it really feels like we're at a crossroads, doesn't it? Like the old way of doing things just isn't working anymore.
And it's exciting, isn't it? This sense of possibility, like we can create something better.
Absolutely. So let's dig into that a bit more. What are the defining characteristics of an Entrepreneur 3.0? What sets them apart from the entrepreneurs of the past?
Well, Paolo highlights a few key traits. First, Entrepreneur 3.0 is deeply purpose-driven. They're not just chasing profits, they're building businesses that align with their values and make a positive impact on the world.
It's about having a mission, something that drives you beyond just the bottom line.
Right. And this purpose-driven approach attracts customers, investors, and top talent who share those values. It's about building a community around your brand.
So it's not just about what you sell, it's about why you sell it.
Exactly. The second trait Paolo mentions is collaboration. Entrepreneur 3.0 understands that they can't do it alone. They're master networkers, building strong relationships with mentors, partners, and collaborators.
They're not afraid to ask for help.
Right, to share ideas and to learn from others. And this collaborative spirit extends to their teams, creating a culture of shared ownership and innovation.
And of course, technology plays a huge role.
Absolutely. Entrepreneur 3.0 is a digital native, leveraging the latest technologies to build their businesses, connect with customers, and streamline operations.
They're comfortable with automation, data analytics, online marketing.
And they're constantly learning and adapting, staying ahead of the curve in a rapidly evolving digital landscape.
So it's not just about using social media. It's about understanding how technology can be used to create value, solve problems, and build a better future.
It's about using technology as a tool for good.
I love that Paolo also emphasizes the importance of adaptability. Entrepreneur 3.0 is comfortable with uncertainty, embracing change as an opportunity for growth.
They're not afraid to pivot, to experiment, and to try new things.
Which is essential in today's world, right?
Yes.
Things are changing so quickly that if you're not adaptable, you're going to get left behind.
Absolutely. And finally, Entrepreneur 3.0 is a lifelong learner. They're constantly seeking new knowledge, new skills and new perspectives.
So it's about having that growth mindset, always pushing yourself to learn and evolve.
They understand that the learning journey never ends.
Paolo's own company, Extraverso, is a great example of this Entrepreneur 3.0 philosophy in action.
Yeah, they're really walking the walk.
They're building a platform that empowers entrepreneurs to connect, collaborate, and learn from each other. They're providing resources, tools, and a community that supports entrepreneurs at every stage of their journey.
And they're doing it with a global perspective, recognizing that entrepreneurship is a universal language that transcends borders and cultures.
So it's not just about building a successful business. It's about building a movement, a community of changemakers who are committed to creating a better future.
And I think that's what makes Paolo's work so inspiring. He's not just offering practical advice, he's painting a vision for a more equitable, sustainable, and purpose-driven world of work.
He's challenging us to think bigger, to dream bigger, and to believe that we can create something truly meaningful with our lives.
And I think that's a message that resonates with entrepreneurs of all generations.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Paolo Maria Pavan's latest insights, I want to leave our listeners with this question. Are you ready to embrace the Entrepreneur 3.0 mindset? Are you ready to build a business that's not just profitable, but also purpose-driven, collaborative, and innovative?
Are you ready to join that shared table to connect with other entrepreneurs and to be part of a movement that's changing the world?
If so, then head over to extraverso.com, check out Paolo's blog, explore their resources, and join the community. The future of entrepreneurship is here, and it's exciting. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll see you next time.